I motivated my team to give a smart customer service at the counter. Because even today also, the counters of the branch is treated as the face of the bank. So I told my teams to have a single visit resolution for some services like passbook updates and helping the customers at the counter for digital banking.
Ma'am, listening to how you led from the front with customers is inspiring. But what's equally fascinating is how you've led from within the system too. You actually helped build the compliance department from scratch, and that's huge. Hello, everyone, and welcome to FaceTime with Leaders, where we sit down with people who've not just built careers but legacies. Today's guest is someone truly special, Miss Vasudha Bhat. She has spent 38 years in Indian banking, starting as a clerk and rising all the way to assistant general manager at Canara Bank. She's led high performance teams, turned around NPAs, driven digital change, and handled everything from HR and compliance to risk and board level strategy. But more than titles and numbers, it's her grounded leadership, calm decision making, and ability to evolve with the times that makes her story worth listening to. We're going to talk about her journey, her lessons, and what she thinks is the future of banking and governance. And trust me, you'll want to take notes. Now, ma'am, I know I touched on a few highlights in the intro, but honestly, no one can tell a story better than you. So let's start from there. In your own words, could you please take us through your journey? What were those early days like, and what moments really shaped you along the way?
Good morning, Tanay. Thank you for having me here today. Regarding my career path, I'm very happy to tell about it. I belong to Udupi, a temple city which is situated in a coastal Karnataka, which is called cradle of banking because it has given birth to five banks: Syndicate Bank, Corporation Bank, Canara Bank, Vijaya Bank, and Karnataka Bank. I joined Syndicate Bank in the year 1986 in assistant cadre, and I worked in almost all areas in India in different roles and different capacities. The period when I joined the banking, it was truly on a manual mode, and each branch was treated as a standalone branch. It was fully manual operations. Each from one branch to another branch, transactions used to take a lot of time. In the year 2000, almost banking industry moved towards core banking solutions. And we too had Syndicate Bank also moved to core banking solutions in the year 2000. In the initial period, there was a lot of teething issues and connectivity issues and public complaints. But within 2 or 3 years, everything settled down. And today you can see digital banking and nobody will go to the branch today. During manual this thing, there was high raised counters, lot of ledgers and big queues in front of the counters. So not everything is missing now, and digital banking is flourishing. So I had leadership roles in different cadres, and I had occasion to lead a project in automation of staff pension payments in the year 2008, and we did it in a matter of 2 months. And further, I was transferred to head a branch in Suratkal, where I doubled the total business from 80 crores to 170 crores in 3 years. Again, a leadership role came to me in the cadre of assistant general manager. I headed a branch in Vijayanagara, Bengaluru, which is a prestigious branch. It is called exceptionally large branch with 2,000 crores of business. Looking at the leadership capacity, I was given higher role to head a region in Bengaluru, which was having 40 branches. So then came a big decision by Government of India to merge banks, and Syndicate Bank got merged with Canara Bank, and I was transferred to Stress Asset Management Wing. There I got an opportunity. I took the initiative to automate one process. Again, after 2 years, I was sent on deputation to one of the subsidiary of Canara Bank. There I got very good exposure to risk management and boardroom operations. So at the last leg, I got transferred to Manipal Circle Office, and I managed their risk management, HR, premises, and inspection. So I retired in the year last year, just in July 2024, at the post from the post of assistant general manager. So this is about my career journey. I'm very lucky to have this much exposure by my bank, and I'm a very happy and contented person today.
Lovely, ma'am. I think it would have been an amazing journey watching it being all physical to now all digital. Ma'am, automation in banking often meets resistance. How did you champion tech-led solutions like NeSL fee process at Canara Bank without disrupting legacy workflows?
It was really a challenging job. I remember you're taking me to that period now. It was, I think, 2021. So after merger, as I told, I was shifted to Canara Bank head office, and there was an information utility section. As per the regulatory requirements, all financial institutions have to submit borrowers' data to NeSL, National E-Governance Services Limited. So in turn, they have, for maintaining the database, they will charge nominal fees, and that fees has to be collected from the borrowers and remitted back to NeSL. This was the process, and the whole process was run on manual mode. So NeSL used to raise invoices, and our team used to send it back to branches where branch has to debit, and it has to come back to us, and we remit to NeSL. It used to take nearly 2 months, 2 to 3 months to honor one claim from NeSL. So I took a decision to go for automation, and naturally there will be a lot of resistance from my team. Of course, my team was very small, 5 to 6 officers, that's all. So I had prepared a transition plans, and SOPs was drawn, and I took confidence these my team members, and updated the management from time to time. I had a very good rapport with the IT department and taxation department, because the GST matter was involved in that. So we could do it within, I think, 1.5 months. We could automate the whole process. When the process was automated, we came to know that there was duplication happening, because manual we cannot arrest the duplication. Duplication to the extent of 50 lakhs that was saved, and at the same time, there was bank could get the benefit of input GST credit to the tune of 20 lakhs, which will be there continuously every year. So with this development, our team was very happy. Even management was happy. Even NESL was also happy, because earlier they used to get the payment in 2 months, but here within 7 days of their raising demand, they used to get the payment. So this gave me a very challenging role, and I could change the mindset of my people. And even my people were today also, they'll remember, they are very happy. The whole management, NESL, and my team. That's a really great experience.
100%, ma'am. Such changes often give you immense pleasure that you could take the organization to the next level where you can make that change and affect people's lives. Ma'am, you've clearly built more than just systems. You've built trust. And that brings me to your Bangalore branch. 50 crore in low cost deposits in just 10 months. That's no small feat. In such a competitive space, what do you think truly wins over customers at that scale?
Low cost deposit, we call it CASA, current account and SB account. Low cost deposit is the backbone of any financial institution, any banks. So because they reduce the cost of funds and they increase the profitability. So as a leader, as I told you, I got promoted from chief manager to assistant manager, and posted to a Vijayanagara branch, a very challenging branch. And footfall, the footfall after CBS environment, I'm telling, footfall was in any day, you will see 70 to 80 people inside the branch during office hours, business hours. And first weekend, it will be flooded like anything. There used to be 2 armed guards to manage the crowd. This was the situation. Even till today, it's the same situation, because it's a residential area. 4,000 pensioners were there, and many salaried people are there. So immediately after joining the branch, I had a meeting as usual with my teams, and my team is also big. 22 people were there at that time. So there's a huge banking hall of around 4,000 square feet. Okay. So we had a discussion. I motivated my team to give a smart customer service at the counter, because even today also the counters of the branch is treated as the face of the bank. So I told my teams to have a single visit resolution for some services like passbook updates, and helping the customers at the counter for digital banking, and treating them with empathy and with respect. All these things, and moreover, I never used to stick to the cabin. I used to come out and talk to the senior citizens or VIP customers, and I used to stand behind my frontline officers and talk a small conversation with the customers. And I used to call every day 10 to 15 customers over telephone. So all this gave image that okay, there is a person who can help us. And from the day one, the CASA deposit went on increasing. And when I left the branch, it was net addition was 50 crores. So based on this performance, I was selected to head a region which is having 40 branches in the same place in Bangalore Metro.
Wow, that's truly lovely, ma'am. And it shows how people connection can take you places. Something as simple and as basic as that.
Even today in national bank, the relationship matters a lot.
I think in any field, ma'am, it's takes you to the next level. Ma'am, listening to how you led from the front with customers is inspiring. But what's equally fascinating is how you've led from within the system too. You actually helped build the compliance department from scratch, and that's huge. So I'm curious, ma'am, in today's ever changing landscape, how do you see the role of compliance evolving in modern banking?
Yeah, of course. As a manager, I was identified my management to head to start, not head, to start a brand department, compliance department in our head office, because it was a requirement of Reserve Bank of India to have a separated dedicated compliance department in 2008. Okay. Yeah. Now, compliance is not simply a framework where rules are enforced. It is beyond that. Compliance is about strategic enablement and risk anticipation. With the rise in digital banking, fintech partnership, and AI-driven services, the regulatory expectations are evolving very rapidly. The compliance team has to evolve. They have to be more proactive. They have to be tech savvy, and should integrate themselves in business day-to-day business decision making. So compliance expectations, the regulators are emphasizing more on ESG compliance areas and data privacy, etc. And so compliance team has to move from a model which they are doing now, like checkbox enabling model, to they have to move to a more dynamic and risk approach. The compliance is no longer enforcement of rules. It is about strategic enablement and risk anticipation. With the rise of digital banking, fintech partnership, and AI-driven services, the regulatory expectations are evolving very rapidly. So compliance team has to move from a reactive and checkbox enabled model. They have to move to a very dynamic and risk-based approach. Compliance, the ability to interpret and implement and tough regulations in real time across the jurisdiction is very challenging to modern banks. Here, I advocate for a mindset shift in compliance framework. Firstly, compliance professionals, they should move from gatekeeper mentality to a strategic partner mentality. The traditional compliance enforcing the rules has to be taken over by a model which is embedded in the business. The compliance professionals should think like risk managers, and they should ask questions whether this innovation, how we can support the innovations responsibly rather than whether it is allowed or not. The second shift, what I envisage is the compliance team has to move to a tech forward model. They should adopt digital products, the digital technology and automation and data analytics to measure and prevent the risks. The foremost mindset shift I advocate is the compliance team should evolve the cultural shift towards shared accountability. they should move to a shared accountability concept where compliance is not the responsibility of only one person or one department. Rather, it is the responsibility of each and every person in the organization, from frontline staff to executive cadre. So this needs a very strong communication, a training, and a tone from the top, which enforces that integrity is the value of business. To sum up, compliance is not only a one person's or one department job. It has to be lived and it has to be embedded in all levels to be effective.
Very well said, and especially going ahead where digitization is such a priority, compliance, I think, is becoming even more important. Ma'am, with a career as rich and wide ranging as yours, I can't help but wonder, as you step into this next chapter, is there a new horizon you're aiming for? Maybe a boardroom seat, advisory role, or something you've always wanted to pursue but never had time for. So, what's next for you now that the uniform comes off, but the leader in you still very much remains?
I have putting in nearly 4 decades of service in nationalized bank in different cadres in different capacities. I bring with me a deep industry knowledge and decision taking capacity. So at this stage, I want to use my experience to help the organizations to take strategic decisions and maintain strong corporate governance and navigate through the tough regulatory as well as market environment. So board role is more about oversight, guidance, and stewardship. All these qualities I have refined in me over the decades. Moreover, till recently, I was in a leadership role of as assistant general manager, and I know the present economic and market conditions and banking related risks and regulatory expectations. And about a few stunts about me, if I have to tell, I have wealth of experience in both operations as well as administrative offices, and I have a proven leadership role under pressure. I am emotional intelligence and broad perspective are my strengths now. I retired just recently from the post of assistant general manager, and I have energy and farsightedness and objectivity and ability to challenge constructively to and moreover nowadays I am free from short term pressures, operational pressures, which enable me to serve as an independent member, effective and truly effective independent member on the board.
And I think any company would be lucky to have you on their team. Ma'am, with your deep experience across compliance, HR, and risk, and having even attended board meetings yourself, you've seen governance not just as a concept but as a lived responsibility. In your view, what does strong corporate governance truly look like on the ground, and why do you think it's becoming so critical in today's banking landscape?
Corporate governance is not just a framework on the paper, but it is a working model of business. Corporate governance refers to rules, regulations, procedures by which a company is directed and controlled. It defines how the business decisions are made and who are empowered to make decisions, accountability, and how the interests of the stakeholders are protected. It ensures company operates in a ethical, transparent, and responsible manner. Corporate governance includes board oversight, a strong internal control systems, risk management structure, and clear compliance framework, and more important is ethical culture and conduct embedded in all levels. Board defines the ethical standards and risk appetite, whereas the senior management translates the governance into policies and framework. But first line of defense is frontline staff who are applying this governance into day-to-day decision making. So first line defense being the first frontline staff, they are very important in identifying the compliance lapses, conduct risk, operational failure, and frauds. So they should be enabled and they should be empowered to raise concerns on non-compliance matters. And coming to strong, weak compliance, weak corporate governance. it leads to business loss. How you know? It financial instability, it leads to financial instability and loss of customer trust, systemic risk, and operational failure. Now, reputational risk is real time. A small governance lapse may go viral overnight. So, whereas strong compliance, strong corporate governance ensures sustainable growth, and also it adds to long-term value to the company. So, to sum up, the stakeholders, they expect integrity and they value the corporate governance as the trust signal. Moreover, corporate governance is not a boardroom concept. It has to be lived in all levels to make it more effective, and to have a sustainable growth for the company, corporate governance has to be lived at all levels.
True, ma'am. I think it's the future to take care of just the basic working of an organization. It's very important to have all the checklists in place. Ma'am, you recently joined Directors Institute, and given the incredible journey you had, we'd love to hear what drew you to the program at this stage and how the experience has been for you so far.
Yeah. On a deputation in 2022, I was deputed to one of the subsidiary of Canara Bank, Canfin Homes Limited. There I had an exposure to boardroom operations. I attended almost all board meetings. So at that time, I was thinking how interesting this career is. So after retirement, some how I happened to get about the Directors Institute through one communication. So I joined the program, and I found it very, very interesting. I attended many live sessions and also videos. So really the incredible efforts you guys are doing. I am very thankful to the whole team of Directors Institute to have me in on your role.
Thank
Thank
you
you
so
so much.
much. Thank you so much for those kind words, ma'am. And that brings us to the end of today's episode. Thank you for sharing your journey, your insights, and the wisdom you've gathered in 4 decades of banking. It's rare to hear such a grounded perspective on leadership, governance, and growth. And I know our audience are walking away with a lot to reflect on.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me here today. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
To everyone tuning in, if this conversation sparked a thought, gave you clarity, or just inspired you to look at leadership differently, do share it forward. Until next time, this is FaceTime with Leaders. Stay curious, stay ambitious, and have fun in your journey. Thank you so much.